all recording. Hey Mel, hey JC, how are you?
How you going? Look at us.
Yeah, how are you girls? How are you, JC?
Good.
3 o'clock in the morning there. Thank you, you trooper.
Oh what the hell?
Is it really? Wow, you are a trooper. Nice.
I've had a little nap. I actually am also moving house. So I'm like in the new house. And had a little nap and woke up and did your show.
We've got 2 very powerful individuals here. Well, I am very honored and blessed that both of you are doing it. So thank you, JC. Thank you, Mel.
My pleasure.
Love our weeklies. And it was just, this was inevitable. I wanted to ask JC to come on board, and having you 2 together, a lot of people have been really excited because, you're huge. What you offer in this community is just amazing. And this week has just been an interesting week on all fronts. The truth community is really getting a bashing. I've had it. You've had it. I know JC. We're all getting it. And so, just start off with you, JC. How has it been for you this week?
Well, I think Mel and I both had the same thing happen where our names were copied onto other channels, and that happens sometimes where people upload your videos and things like that, but they don't try to impersonate you. So what they were trying to do is profit off our audience, and so with me it was it was JCK and Whino 7. That was the title of the YouTube channel, and they've uploaded all my videos. But not only that, they've used my image in the as though it's me, and then they've plagiarized all of my writing. So it's like every single thing is mine. It's like all of mine, and then they've added 20 ads in every video. So the thing that I'm thinking is this is an inside thing, okay? Because a lot of my audience members are saying that they've tried to unsubscribe and it won't let them unsubscribe. That videos that were banned or not allowed to be monetized, I don't monetize my videos. Why are they getting all monetized now? So there's something going on. There's something going on where they've got some way around this.
Exact same thing with me, and it's really disturbing. First of all, I'm demonetized too, and also the videos that I've gotten strikes for are up on these fake channels. So, which is crazy. And then for me now. There's 5 of them. It's Charlie Ward and Mel K and Charlie Ward Show, Mel K Official, and Mel K, aka Manic Manhattan, which is my title of my book. But it's what I have to say is. My mom called me and she's like, "Why are you inundating YouTube with your face?" I'm like, "It's not me." And then
you've got 3, Mel. There's 3. There's like 3 different ones of you.
Yeah, and I'm only the Mel K Show, but I'm the same as you, JC, because they are making money off of it. First of all, you can't unsubscribe to one of my channels. They're using my face. One of the channels has as many subscribers as my real channel, which is only the Mel K Show. And on top of that, YouTube must know that I'm the real account because I'm the only one that gets strikes.
Yeah.
And I've had audience members, I've had hundreds of people, including myself, put a complaint through saying not a word from YouTube. Not a word.
They're trying, and then they conflate you with other people. So on my channel, anything that Charlie Ward does goes on my channel. It's like, if I'm not in it, it's not mine. And it's like, I get attacked like, well, Charlie said this, Charlie said that. I'm like, Charlie's a big boy. He can say whatever he wants. What does it have to do with me?
It's the taking over of the brand. And that's where the issue is when you're using people's names. What people don't realize is that you're using it however you want. And if there's other things that are attached to that, that's going to cause issues down the track. And that's the problem I've got with it. If people want to make money from stuff, that's fine, but just don't, you can't influence the audience, and they're diluting the audience as well. They are. They're causing confusion and chaos. And I've got a theory about this.
Yeah, well, it's a week of confusion and chaos this week. Well, the last few months especially, but what's going on in our community is just really indicative of creating further division, divide, and this chaos, and it's causing a lot of uncertainty. I've had a lot of it this week with some of the pundits come to me, people emailing me, messaging me, really kind of like, you know, not aligned and worried about what's going on within us and kind of relying on me for answers. And then on top of that, we've had the impeachment, Mel, and it's just, there's just so much. Is it like any coincidence that it's all happening this week? You know, we've been attacked. The truther community has been really, really attacked. And right now, I think it's important that we keep our vibration high, keep positive. And also, you know, everyone has a choice of who they follow, right? None of us, not you, not Mel, not JC, none of us are saying that, you know, putting a gun to anyone's head and to follow us, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, the attacks are off the charts. I did a great show, I thought, yesterday with Mark. And then I saw it. I'm still not allowed to put things on YouTube for 2 more days, but then I will, and then I'll be gone forever. But but the other me's will stay up forever. But so Mark and I did a show, and I looked at it on Mark's channel, and the comments were so nice that I thought, well, I'll turn on comments for this one on mine. The minute I turn it on, boom, 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 and it's like the anti-Semitism or just personal attacks, or she's a fraud, she's a liar, she's giving hopium. I research stuff. I put together dots. I am intuitive. I've also lived in several of these worlds for real and give my insight. But fraud, how? Like I don't you know what? I can't look at the comments anymore. I can't. BitChute's comments are a cesspool.
These trolls are amping up in the comments, and I did notice that in this past week. There's definitely, I've had to go with my trusty little finger and block people off my channel and stuff like that. But
your mic is just coming a bit muffled.
Well, on BitChute, I don't think you can block people. You have to block them all, you know. So then my Telegram group was doing great, the Mel K Show group, and then it got infiltrated by porn. And I was crying. I was like, well, how do you stop this? Thank God I had some mods come in. But, you know, I do know that if we're being attacked, there's a reason. Yeah. And I know that they know which accounts are really me and JC, and big tech guys, because we're the only ones being hurt by it, or hurt. I don't know, it's not really hurting me, but what it is like you said, it's the brand, it's hijacking. Like you said, if you want to upload my videos, great. My whole point is to get out information and have people arm themselves with the truth and facts and fight back from an intellectual and logical place. But you know, when you're putting my face up and using my name and then conflating me with other personalities out there that I have nothing to do with if I'm not on their show, you know, then it's disappointing. But you know what? There's nothing we can do. If we were on the liberal left and towing the line, it wouldn't happen. I firmly believe that it wouldn't happen to us. And you know, I'm glad all the information gets out there, but there has been an inner divide. I think people feel very, at least in America, I see this, that people are feeling very abandoned by the Trump team and the White Hats, people that were following the back channel, people that just liked Trump, voted for Trump. They are really, at this point, I understand that people are saying, you know, it's Sun Tzu and look weakest when you're strongest, and that his silence is part of the reveal and all that. And I get that. And I know today, finally, his lawyers, God willing, they'll do something good, because his lawyers so far in our journey have not been the greatest. But I hope they'll reveal some stuff. But people in America are feeling, I think, leaderless and abandoned. They're watching Joe Biden. Honestly, everything that he does is anti-America, and quite frankly, making the entire world more dangerous. And you know, to the point that even Macron comes out and says that the progressive left division and this liberal cultism, racism, LGBT is bad, is destroying America, and it's gonna bleed over into the world. And you know, I say a lot. What we have, diversity is is not our strength. Diversity gives us flavor. Our strength is what we have in common, our love of God, family, country, all the things that we hold dear in our personal lives and in our day-to-day lives, and all of that is what makes us strongest, is unity. I mean, that's why they said, united we stand, divided we fall. And they've done everything they can to divide us. And, at this point, the reason that they're attacking us is they want us to go away. They want us to go away. We're getting closer and closer to the reveal. And believe me, I wake up the day when my Telegram channel was infiltrated with porn, I started crying. I'm like, I'm not doing it anymore. Yeah. Forget it, and I'm out of this. I don't want to do it. I don't care, and then you wake up the next day and you realize it's not up to you. It's up to God.
Well, don't you think though, this is just a big, I feel like it is almost like it's like God's playing tricks on us, but I've been thinking it's the AI, for the longest time, that this is what's going on with YouTube, for example. Maybe it is the AI, reorganizing things and shifting things around and allowing channels to be replicated and things like that. I believe that this whole system is like a computer simulation, but that's my attitude. That's my belief system. And I just think that all of this is playing out for a reason. It's all sort of this conflict and this divide. We've seen it. It's like as above, so below, so we're seeing this conflict. We're seeing this divide within the truther community. We're seeing the divide in the world. Everybody is, it's like they have to lose faith in order to take charge of their world, because it's either you sink or swim here now. Right. It really is. It's a battle of who's got the strongest
resilience
spirit. You've got to be spiritually strong. You've got to be like a warrior. Yeah. And people are looking to us as leaders, right? So it's the same with they're looking to the Trump team. Where are they? What's happening? Where are we? We're being abandoned, like you said. And they're feeling that they're desperately looking for us, for answers. And then this happens, right? And then this other big thing happens in the truther community, where there's this big divide, and people are taking sides and pitting one person against the other. Or, look, I had bizarre things. Like I had emails saying, we won't, they're cloning you. Like people actually thought that when I said that the channel was replicated, that there was a clone of me making YouTube videos, and I'm double trouble. That's too much, JC. And people actually thought there was a clone of me, and that it wasn't just one person. I had someone actually say, "Look at her last video; it doesn't look like her. It's like they've got her voice kind of right, but not right, And I'm like, what the hell?
What's happened to people? But this is it. This is what the mindsets. One little thing. Oh my God, she's a clone, or she's deep state, or he's deep state.
Yeah. Oh, I've had that. Yeah, I've had that. I'm deep state. I'm cabal. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my God, I get it every day. I get it.
Mel, you get told you're deep state shill. I mean, we had a video done of us. The last one that we did with Jason Q and myself last week. I mean, his video went viral, and basically you and me are frauds. And Jason.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We're frauds and scamming, because we mentioned that, Biden may have got arrested at the start. Well, I did actually. And I just said, look, this is just stuff that I'm sharing. Don't shoot me if it's not correct. And this is the thing. It's perception, how people are perceiving things and where everyone's at mentally,
Right.
Yeah. And the slightest thing, JC, you just said that someone thinks there's a clone of you, and then really going that far in their mindsets to think, oh, the voice, look at what's going on. And if this level of consciousness is going on, it's going to be very erratic in the energies.
Yeah, well, I did say, God help the human race. I made a little video saying God help the human race. I mean, I've been called reptilian. People saying, see, your eyes are reptilian. I'm like, they're my contact lenses. Like, get over it. Come on, man. It's getting ridiculous. But this is the psyop. This is the psyop that's going on. This whole thing is such a layered psyop. So when I tap into it psychically, it is so layered. You really have to really keep the faith. And I know we don't sort of, it's almost like people are too, they're really burned, and they don't want to say that they believe in Q and all of that stuff. But we know from the beginning that there has to be misinformation on purpose, because this is a military operation and there's things going on that you can't, you can't reveal everything.
Right.
Not only that, timelines change, and this is the thing, and it changes with the way everybody is focusing their attention and where they're focusing their attention. I had said in one of my videos about that one of the bit of the information I got where I did a remote view of the inauguration and stuff like that, that I heard 9 weeks of hell, right? Yeah. And from the date that I had remote viewed it was the 18th of January, and I counted forward 9 weeks, and it was exactly right on 22nd of March, right? Which is this turning point that I'd been saying for months, even before I had a YouTube channel, that there's this turning point on the 22nd of March. And now everyone keeps going, what's 9 weeks of hell? What's going on? We're in lockdown. 9 weeks of hell. this is it, the confusion and the, it's also a negotiation. So this other remote view I did with Antarctica, where there was this meeting place. Huna said to me that he told me.
I love Huna.
well, he did a private. He did another private Zoom with me the other day, and he had to talk to me. And he said, I watched your Antarctica thing again, and he said, and I know exactly where you went. And he said, you're seeing things exactly like how we see them, blah, blah, blah. But he explained it all. And he said that where I went was actually like the second dimension, and it's actually the void. And this is where the meeting places take place. And he said, we also call it hell. And I said, 9 weeks of hell. He said, yeah, it was the meeting place, the negotiation. So it's 9 weeks of negotiation. And when you think about it, this current situation that's happening, that's so contentious right now, it is this bang, it's like this clash, it's this the negotiation between the dark and the light. It's this negotiation of that, and you either are divided, and that's why it's so divisive, okay, because it's pitting friend against friend, and it's pitting different sides against each other, because what does the confusion and the chaos do? It creates doubt. And when you put doubt in people's minds, this is when things splinter apart, okay? Right. And that is how the demons get in, is the doubt, and they'll feed on that. And that's what's happening with this truther community, because we've got some people who are very highly regarded, and now things are being said about them. Who do you believe? And in the end, you trust yourself. This is what this entire thing, I really believe that everything that's going on in this world this past 12 months has been about an inner spiritual apocalypse. Okay, it's your own inner. It is. Yeah, and it's your own inner Armageddon as well. So it's we have to, and it's amazing. It's kind of beautiful, really, because what you're seeing on the outside is going on within you on a smaller scale. Yeah, and we have to. Yeah, it's 100%. I mean, I see it, so, I see it in people's lives. It's just sort of replicating what's going on outside, and it's happening within this truther community. It's happening on such a different level. And, I just think that this is the time to really take charge of yourself. And there are some spiritually weak people, and they are going to fall apart and blame others. And when I see that, I get emails from people who are just so rude. Like, I mean, it's just off the charts. Like, you just go, whoa, where did that come from? But when I read it, it's trauma. They're so traumatized.
That's what I think too. When I see it, I always think, God, how sad to be so full of hate for somebody you don't know, who's trying to just spread information, to have people arm themselves with the truth that they're not getting elsewhere, which is really my goal. And me, I do a lot of research because I love research and history and stuff, and I try to share that. And, if I do believe this is a battle between good and evil. And I do believe that this is about, that I get up every day, and I oftentimes just don't want to do it anymore. And I feel that I don't have a choice. And that to me is God. Yeah. And you got to follow your own path, and God is inside of you. And you manifest that. And like you're saying, JC, I've been saying the whole time to people that are like, well, when? Yeah. I keep saying to people, while you're waiting, why not go inside yourself? Yeah. And, instead of like going out there and attacking other people because it's not happening the way you want to, and you don't see any justice and you don't see any externally, why don't you start realizing that you have no control over that? And like you said, this is why the military in charge. First of all, it's an international alliance. It's not just it's not the U.S. military, And first of all, and bigger than that. And then again, the three of us care the most about the children and that being exposed and that being brought to light. That's going to be the biggest red pill ever. And people aren't even close to prepared for that. So people that are attacking us, you know, we at least know, grounded in our hearts, that what is coming, we're going to have to be strong for that, because it will be on such a massive scale, a heartbreak, a grieving that the three of us have already passed.
Yeah.
And that's why we have to keep going no matter how much we want to, because there are, for all three of us, no matter how many people attack us, the amount of people that support us is way off the charts. And it's, again, we're lucky that we all connected. It's my first time connecting with JC, but it's not going to be the last. It's going to be regularly.
And you know what? We bat them off the longer you're doing this, because people, I mean, I have so many people, friends and family, they're like, I don't know how you do this, because I tell them like a typical day of mine. I'm like, oh, I got 3 marriage proposals and this, you know, they're like, how do you deal with all that attention? And I'm just like, you just deal with it. It rolls off your back. This is why we were chosen for this job. I truly believe it. I truly believe this is God's work, and I truly believe that God is working through me, and this is why the people are lining up. You know, we're getting all these like-minded people, these souls who came into this world like a contract to work for the good of man. And I can't help that. Like, I can't help doing that. People, and you can see right through the people who are the shills. Like, honestly, you can see right through them.
I agree.
So I honestly, anything that my whole intention is to continue on this humanitarian path. And, you know, I've got all these ideas, and, you know, me and Mark have been talking about all these ideas about what we want to do in the future, and all these humanitarian projects and things like that we want to do. And we will do that because we know there's going to be this need for healing.
Right.
And we are, there is still, this is the disappointment I have, is that we've been talking about this ad nauseum, okay, about going within, and you need to stop asking all the questions. I mean, my whole shtick is this, okay? It's like, you got to go within. I'm not a guru. You've got to find, you know, be your own person. And it's just, they twang back. They're twangers. They just keep twanging back like a rubber band. And they keep going back to but when, I'll feel better if you tell me when. It's not going to make you feel better. And this is the time to...
Right, exactly.
This is the time to, you know, to really work on yourself. I wrote a spiritual survival guide for the lockdown and beyond, you know, and it helps a lot of people. And most of it really, it's about mindfulness. This is basically what it comes down to. It's really about creating your own world and turning off the TV,
right?
You know, really turning off the mainstream. And the truther community, unfortunately, has started to become this same divisive propaganda machine that the mainstream media is doing. And I refuse to have any of my platforms under my name be part of that.
Me too.
This is why I shut down the freaking chat in Telegram the other day, because I woke up and there was 400 messages and they were all fear porn.
I know.
And I was like, I put rules saying no fear porn, and I just went bang, 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 banned a bunch of people, shut down the chat, right? Because it's like you get your toys taken away.
Right, right.
You don't play the game.
At the moment, we're all purging, and this is like residual debris from the constructs of the cabal, if we think about it, and people's mindsets and where they are. And this what happened in the last week or so. It just reminded me felt like I was reading like one of these Now magazines or People's magazines, because it was just really quite tacky, some of the things that were happening. And we have to be mindful that, and understanding in some way, to a certain extent, because this was inevitable. This was going to happen. And, you know, the mindsets of people, there's a lot of fragile people that have turned to people like yourself, myself, other pundits there, and other truthers, or, you know, researchers, or whatever you want to call it. And they're sort of aligning themselves. And JC, you had done a really good show the other day where, you know, you said, I'm no one's guru. You know, she's not, I'm not. you're not. You can take what we say, and guess what? You have a choice. You have a choice to just divert your energy elsewhere. What we need to train, though, people, is this trolling that's been going on, and these are the constructs of the cabal. And this is the thing where if we don't assert ourselves now and say, right, hang on a minute, this is not right, because we have a responsibility as well, that there are people that respect and that actually follow us, or align with us, and know that we're not giving fake opium, but they energetically connect with us. So this is where we need to sort of put a stop to this, and stop to this playground nonsense, and say, look, we are all batting from the same side. We want to see the justice for the children. We want to see Trump come back in, and we need to be ushering our energy in that direction. This playground grassroots nonsense has to stop, and it's what we give our attention to. Right. So this is the message you gave that in your chat the other day. And thank you, JC, for some of the lovely things that you said to me. It was just, oh, we're all shy. It was really nice. But what I took from that, especially as well, I listened to it to the end, was that, you put it so bluntly, like, we have
I am blunt.
choice, and Mel, you're good at that as well. Like, you offer some, you're very good in the quality of research that you do. And when we have our one-to-ones, I absolutely learn something new every time, and I always look forward to it. So this collaboration has been beautiful up until this point, right, in this last week. Now, bearing in mind, the planetary situation is we are in a Mercury retrograde, and I said to you last time, what does the planet Mercury represent? The mind, right? It's going in
communication as well, and the mind
communication, and you're going backwards, so it's going backwards, sorry. So there's going to be a lot of confusion, a lot of mental fog, brain fog. People are feeling a bit of that fear porn. It's inevitable, and we are going through some of the most testing times in humanity. I mean, the lockdowns are driving people crazy. Right. People are being jailed for coming here into the UK. Yeah. If they don't give a solid explanation, they are being jailed for up to 10 years as to where they've come from, it's going nuts. It's going really crazy.
People, but then if you are illegal and you're a migrant and you come in, nobody says anything. This is another thing going on here. He's undoing everything Trump did, which is incredibly insane, and also starting wars all over. He's getting involved. Whoever he is, this faux president, he's making the world more dangerous, not just America. And in a month, he is marching the American people to the Great Reset, and he is not working for the American people, obviously. And, the rest of the world is watching, and they've had it. I mean, Putin's not going to put up with this again. He's right back to ignore China and Iran, point at Putin, point at Russia. And this is not going to work again. And
do you think that they're bringing us to the brink, because I still believe that because when I tap into it, I still feel there is this layer of, the bad guys are not in control, right? So it's like they're allowed to be, because it's like they've got to take us to the brink for this thing to happen, and that's what it feels like. So do you think that these things that are occurring that appear to be as though this is it, this is the end, we're done for, we're going to go to war with Iran, and this is going to happen?
Yeah, I don't believe any of that's going to happen.
Yeah, but it's taking us to the brink. Yeah, I don't believe it either. They're taking us to the brink so that then it flips, because that's the energy I felt, is that it goes like this and then flips, and suddenly we've got, and the way I saw, because I purposefully don't follow the media or the news, okay, because I need to keep a clear mind and try to just feel the energy. And what I did pick up back in before 6th of January was that I was like, oh my God, they're going to make Biden win, but then I felt this turning point in this last week of February. That date could change because, as you've got to have surprise somehow, right? They can't just play out the exact dates that are coming through in all these comms and things like that. But I definitely felt this flip. And then I saw an image in my head of General Flynn. So to me, that meant that it was going to be like hell on earth. And then they flip it and it's a surprise attack, and it's exactly like that Sun Tzu thing, which is, that you've got to appear weak before before you appear weak to your enemy. Yeah.
I certainly think that 100%. I agree with you completely. And I felt it lately, and it's not just, it's not just us, because it's funny. I have a Yemeni guy that works in my little store I go to across the street. We talk about all the stuff going on. He's, from his point of view, his family's still in Yemen, and he owns this little store. Somehow it's surviving because it's one of the few left in my neighborhood. So I was talking to him yesterday, and he goes, "There's a weird energy, Mel, in the whole world. There's a weird energy going on." And this is something we've never talked about this before. I was like, "I know, right?" He's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "It's worldwide. I don't know what's going on, but it's weird." And I'm like, "I know." And he said, like, even his family back home, they feel it. And I said, this is way bigger than us. That's what I keep telling people. When they're listening to the moves apparently that Biden's making that are so insane, I keep saying this is way bigger than that. Yeah. This is way bigger than that. This is not about Joe Biden, and it's not about Donald Trump. This is about a way bigger calling for this planet to wake up and to evolve, or not. There is no option to lose. That's the problem. It's the ultimate good versus evil, and their plans for us have been revealed. My biggest issue when people call us, whatever they call us, is just look it up. Just look it up. Don't go to Google. Don't go to Wikipedia. They're both hijacked. They're both being run by open society and the progressive mentality that is against the people. They are on board with the Great Reset and the Bilderberg, Davos, cabal, central banking, all that.
Globalism.
People are fighting for their survival, and it's manifesting in a way that we're watching it play out like a movie. But these people that are all nervous and everything, just do some research. It's much more interesting than watching TV. Once you go to the UN website and start connecting dots, you're going to realize that we're completely correct, and that there is no conspiracy theory about the Great Reset and Agenda 2030 and the banking cabal and the private Fed and the Act of 1871 and the District of Columbia. It's all true. All you have to do is do your own research.
The issue is that we've bred a society, several generations, who are spoon-fed in their education system, which has been the plan all along from when the Prussian education system came into play. They emulated that system and put it into Western society in order to militarize the people. In order to make very obedient soldiers. So we are spoon-fed information. So this critical thinking thing it's very blatant to me that most people don't have critical thinking skills. They cannot research. They do not know how to do it. And this is why they look to people like you, why they look to other researchers to find out this information. The problem is that we've been tarred with this brush of conspiracy theorists and therefore radical and therefore dangerous, and this is the problem. But it's such a long game. It's the long game, right? The whole political correctness, the political correctness, all of that came into play for a reason. It was all, and it brought in the intellectual elites, the people that were very well meaning. My mother is one of them. I mean, she, very high up in her role, very educated. And the problem is that indoctrination of those sorts of, the very high, they hold dear to these constructs that have been used against them and flipped. So like feminism and all of that sort of stuff like that. And they truly believe that they are standing up for, discrimination, anti-discrimination. My mum was all for this. No, we've got to censor people because it's anti-discrimination. It's all of that sort of stuff. So this is how they get in. This is how the demons get in, right? They get in through your well-meaning thoughts and all of that. So the education system, as far as I'm concerned, that's got to change, and you can see it now. But see, that's the other thing. It's like you can sit there and say the world's going to hell. But then you see the other side is that we have to get to that brink to completely deconstruct this old system Because right now, a lot of kids are being kept home from school, and people are starting to realize, well, what's the point of school? You know, you could literally
Especially
stick
college.
a kid. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. 6 years of university, and I'm like,
I know. I'm pissed. I finally paid off my NYU student loans about 2 years ago, and now they're calling me and they support ending student loans, pay back. I'm like, no, I paid mine. You're going to pay yours. No, that's not fair. No, and yeah, I agree with you 100%. And the biggest thing is that the thing about these people, and I point a lot to the Rockefeller Foundation, the Council of Foreign Relations, the UN. They don't hide it. They don't hide their agenda. They don't, like you said, people can't do their own research and don't have critical thinking. Oh, it's all out there. They don't do that. They put it in your face. And this is what I think this whole pandemic has been about, is demoralizing, dehumanizing, separating, isolating, causing fear, panic, causing doubt. They keep moving the goalposts. It's like there's like a Stockholm syndrome situation too now, because it's like people are going and getting a dangerous vaccine just to get out, to get out of something that they're willingly
crazy. To travel now, everyone's going to require a vaccine. I mean, that
won't happen.
Absolutely.
It won't happen, no way.
I mean, they're
also again, on top of that, go to the Moderna website and read what it says. It says that it's not a vaccine, it's an operating system.
I have been saying that all along. Mel, do you know what a couple of months ago, I made a song. I swear it's going to be a Broadway musical. And it was about, there is no vaccine. There is no vaccine. And everybody's going, what do you say about this now? You said there was no vaccine. I said, it's not a vaccine.
Right.
It's not a vaccine. It's a poison. It is a genetic. What is it? What would you call it?
Genetically modified. What it is the first one is with the mRNA. These are the vaccines. The only thing I can pray is that a lot of people think, because the vaccine from Russia doesn't have it in it. It's actually a very strong flu vaccine, they're saying. And
that's the other thing I picked up, the summer flu vaccine,
right?
And some of this other dangerous thing.
And some of the white hats that I've talked to, especially with certain, now don't forget, Trump got the vaccine to the military first. They did something with the vaccine, God willing, replaced it. And then the governors were supposed to give it out. Well, Governor DeSantis in Florida, I happen to trust him, and I like him, and my parents are down there, and I can only pray to God that they replace that vaccine. Because I said to my mom, "What vaccine did you get?" She don't even know. I said, "What do you mean you don't know?" And another thing is they're elderly and they're being like peer pressured into doing it. And my mom was really upset because it wasn't before she got her vaccine. It was after that they gave her paperwork on what the side effects, and informed consent should be the first thing with this.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
And people should know everything about it. And second, JC and you just go to the website and it says that it's an operating system, which it just says it. It's not fake news. And then, Twitter and Facebook and everyone, if you say that, then it's fake news or they strike you down. And it's on the people's website. Like these Luciferian types, they don't hide anything. No. They don't hide anything. Even with our kids, if you go to the UN and you go and find the Arcane School, which links with the Lucifer Trust, Lucifer Publishing, which is the philosophical basis of the UN, and you go into the Arcane School, and this Robert Mueller, not the one that did the Russia hoax, but a different one, his whole philosophy on education is exactly what we're watching. And it has a lot to do with, the sexualizing, the separating from parents, the, beating out of like them mentally, nationalism, culture, all of that for this global one, this whole, this is my thinking too. This whole global reset, this whole globalism BS, which they don't participate in because the people that are running this show at the top with the UN, the cabal, the Clinton Foundation, Soros, Rockefeller, all these guys, the top, I call them the top. There's about 3,000 people that think that they're God and better than the 9 billion rest of us. And they have all this power. And if you scrape below the surface, you're going to find that their plans for this world are so demonic and evil. They lack God, love, faith. All of it is erased.
They're the opposite of.
And they write it. They write it on their websites, and then if we point it out, then we get banned or censored. And I always think like la 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 la. Yeah. It's going to be the total opposite, though. I've been saying this on Charlie's for a long time, which is their Great Reset, their globalism is going to be the opposite of what they wanted. It's instead going to be that people like us from 3 different countries, it's going to be on a massive scale, that the globalism will be more like, hey, I'm from my country. My country's great, but I want to visit your country. Your country's great. You know what I mean? It's going to be more, not that we're all citizens of their one government planet that they want to run. No, we're all citizens of our country, and we're all friends and cousins on this earth. And that people will be more peaceful, more prosperous, more welcoming. It will end war. It will end all of this, because it's all been their construct to keep us enslaved. And when we're freed, just like, when Moses freed the slaves through the Dead Sea, or the Red Sea, when they went into the sea, they thought they were going to drown, and they just had to have faith and follow just to get out of there and run now, or you'll be a slave forever. And they took the leap of faith. And I think that's where we are, because if you look at their flowery language on the World Economic Forum about the Great Reset or any of this stuff, all you have to do is scrape it. And it's the opposite of what they're saying. And I keep saying, we're going to have that world, and you're not going to be in it. And it's going to be better than you could ever imagine. And, this whole like universal income, all that, it's about taking away your purpose. It's about taking away your God-given gifts and your passion and your drive and your sense of God and belonging and family. And they don't want you to have any of that. And I think it's going to be the full-on opposite.
Absolutely. And that's the world I envision. And you know what, Mel, I actually, I kept getting psychically that there was going to be no passports even, that they weren't going to be necessary.
I think that there shouldn't be. There should be.
There shouldn't be,
exactly. A lot of that. Yeah, a lot of that stuff. And honestly, there's never been any reason for war. There really hasn't. It's all been manufactured.
It's all been manufactured by the banksters.
Yeah, the war in Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan, all of it has been manufactured. And now we're in an intellectual, psychological, and information war also being manufactured. And that's why we got to get up and keep doing it every day, because there are people that who think like us, but only have us. And, I'm noticing more and more when I go out. Of course, we can't go in any restaurants, but when you stand outside in 10-degree weather just to get out of your house, and you go because I'm more and more just saying what I think. I don't care at this point. I get attacked all day on the internet. I can handle it on a
process.
I can handle it from some maths person on the street. So anyway, but I'm noticing more and more, the more I just throw out a little idea, that somebody will look at you and be like, oh my God, I think the same thing. You see that too? And I'm like, yeah. And this is what I think the isolation, the masking, the distancing is really about, so that we don't say, yeah, I saw that too. And then get into an intellectual conversation, no matter how superficial, but at least somebody being like, oh, wait, there's a fear of saying what you really believe or think.
That's the thing, that everyone's really, really scared to say what they're saying. So even in this community, and especially what we're finding with our own people, look at the divide like within our families or friends or people that we know. How many people do we hear saying, oh, we've lost all our friends, our family?
It's all about, don't talk about the war, right?
Exactly.
Like, they're so conditioned and programmed to think that, we're the nutters and we're the conspiracy theorists, and that you can even not look there, because that's what they're clutching onto. That's these constructs, like you were saying earlier on, JC, these academic constructs or these narratives from the media that they're clutching onto, that it actually feels safe. And you're right, it's like the Stockholm syndrome. You end up liking your tormentor, and this is what they've been doing to us subliminally over thousands of years. And we think we've been living in democracy and freedom. I mean, it's just been preposterous what's happening. But where we are now for ourselves as well, we don't have all the answers. We're not God, and we don't claim to be. And it's a journey for ourselves and our own spiritual growth, how we are evolving in this. Let's take where we're coming to and approaching. We're approaching the 4th of March very soon, and there's been a lot of focus on that being the date for Trump to potentially be inaugurated. I don't see that happening. because with the way things are going right now, we're in the middle of February, and this is just a thought that I have, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, is that in all this sort of journey right now that Biden got inaugurated, it was all a part of the process, all a part of this exposure and the great reveal to show people, because you can't tell people, that it has to get to that brink that you were saying, JC. It has to get to that absolute brink for us to like really realize, or those that are not waking up saying, hang on a minute, because remember, right now, this very moment, people are acquiescing and subordinating and thinking that, no, we want to take the vaccine, that's going to be our freedom, we're going to be able to travel, and it doesn't matter about the consequences because we don't think there are any, and in a few months time it's all going to be over, and it's just going to be another 6 months and another 6 months, and this was, guess what, a part of the greater plan. So where we are right now, it still seems to me, and this is just my view, that we're very far away from Trump coming back, the comeback of Trump. And I can't see this happening so quickly in 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know. You tell me. What's
your take on it, Mel? What are you seeing, research-wise?
I don't know. Just always, my feeling has always been that that it's on God's time, and it's really about as few casualties of this intellectual war. I think a lot of people are not really paying attention to the suicide and psychological damage that this year has done, and the overdose and the depression and the anxiety and all of this. I think that it's more like we talk about the humanitarian thing. I think whatever's going to happen, I do believe that the White Hats and the Alliance, they do care about humanity. And like I said, I don't like to say numbers or anything, but when I was told when I was in DC that the military wouldn't do anything until they felt that the majority, 70% or so, the majority of America would welcome intervention of our white hat military guys, that was when they would act, because of the psychological side of it. Also, do not forget that Obama told us flat out that he created an army of citizen journalists or digital soldiers. Citizen community organized soldiers. They've let all these people out of jail, not the elderly or the people that had small offenses. I'm talking hardcore criminals out of jail on purpose. Nobody during Antifa and Black Lives Matter, which were the real riots and really killed people and destroyed our country from the inside out, countries all over the world, none of those people went to jail. So they're still out there. And, that is another issue here, which is we have to really, I just think it's all going to be about when it's safest for the majority of the people to be able to handle it. Because, there's that. And my only thing is, I think a lot of people feel, which is probably why we're getting attacked, but also getting a lot of attention from good people, is just feel very lost and anxious and scared and feel abandoned right now. And it's just, all of this is very bad. That's the only thing that I've been, I did a show with this great guy I like from England. And people kept saying that, I was negative or whatever. I'm not being negative. I just have a soft spot for people that suffer from depression, anxiety, or suicidal, because I've been there myself. And I know that very dark, ugly, where it's not even depressed anymore. It's just black. And these people that are isolated and scared and are believing the news and stuff, what they're going through psychologically is such a crime against humanity. I think the biggest crime of all of this is what they've done to people's mental health, emotional health, psychological, spiritual. This has been such a crime on that level, that not just the COVID, but what these people have been doing since George H.W. Bush, to me, got in the White House, was the beginning of of 50 years where America has been truly battered and beaten into submission by a globalist government that right now is fighting for their lives. And I still believe fully they're going to lose. They already lost. And we know we won in a landslide, and it wasn't about Trump calling his troops. It was about the people saying we matter. Why do the people in Washington, D.C. think that they matter more than we matter? They work for us, And I think that's where a lot of people have to go into their own community, their own local place, their own world, and find, you know, like-minded souls. And because I can't talk to people anymore that don't
know, right?
get what I'm talking
You've
about.
got to act locally. Yeah, act locally. Yeah, that's right.
What about you?
And it's like, you know, they call it the Great Awakening. It should be called the Great Mindfuck. That's basically what this whole thing is. Great Reset, Great Mindfuck. Yeah.
That was this week.
And, yeah.
Definitely.
Well, you know, I won't say it. Mark will laugh at, and Mark will tell me off. But, yeah, I call it the deep state dildo. Basically, have been fucked so bad by their oppressors, and they won't pull it out. Right. So because they just keep going back to them, but they need to. We need to stop this. We need to really start to understand that these are the people that are that destroyed us. There's something I want to mention to you that you might not be aware of, Mel, but the whole conception of the United States or America 600 years ago, you know, when the first pilgrims landed on Plymouth Rock, that was a satanic ritual that was done. There were Satanists from England and from Europe who had planned on, this is the long game, okay? These guys have been around for a long time. They started your country as a sacrificial thing to sacrifice it, okay? Fatten it up and sacrifice it, okay? For the end game that they wanted, all right? And this is all done by numbers. This is all done by ritual. Everything you see, everything they do, all of the Masonic symbolism, you know, the obelisks, all of these things, everything in that country, in your country, and now globally, is part of the satanic system. And it is a false system. And it is what, you know, like Huna was saying about the false light. It's, or not false light, distorted light. It's the distorted light and the undistorted light. The undistorted light is the reality that we should be living in. And the distorted light is this matrix illusion thing that was it's almost been created by these satanic people. Okay, so it's a very, very ancient thing, and that illusion needs to come down. What we're seeing in front of us, I say it all the time, is like you are manifesting this reality and you are assisting in playing along with their ritual. This is why they do things ritualized. You are playing along with their ritual when you partake in their stories, when you partake in, believing the mainstream media, or really getting emotionally involved in what is, because the emotion behind it is what manifests and what makes magic, right?
Right.
So this is this thing that people need to let go of, and that's part of the hold. That whole Stockholm syndrome. They got you by the balls because they got you with your TV and your mainstream news. They've got you with the whole mainstream culture. It's all designed. Everything's been weaponized against us. Everything has been, so that we can forcibly partake in their rituals, and that's why. I mean, this is. People are waking up, they really are, and I know it seems like they're not, but I'm seeing more and more people around me not wearing masks, and it's heartening, you know. It's really making me feel very and there are a lot more people now in 1 year saying they will refuse to get a vaccine compared to a year ago. I mean, I remember people were like, in Australia, it was probably like 90% of people were vaxxers, you know, like they were really, really for vaccines. And it was like a lynch mob if you dared say, even question the ingredients in a vaccine on social media. You would be lynched, you know. So that's changed. And there really is. It's going to take a bit of time, but I just don't believe. I think I think it'll happen. I think that the good will turn. It is happening. It's just that you can't see it because all of this residual stuff has to play out. But it's happening. It's behind the scenes. This is why we have this faith that, you know, and there are so many people who are so stuck in their trauma that they will not see it. And they're the ones we have to support and pull through, you know, to the other side.
Right.
That's the key thing there. There's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes. And I think everyone watching needs to like really feel that and go within and realize that actually what's going on a day-to-day basis is not normal. They have to question that. And they have to question, obviously, the mainstream media. They up until now, what has been true? Like the stats have all been inconsistent. With there's so much circulating on social media, surely there has to be something to it. And the blame game has to stop. When we are in that unity consciousness with our vibrations, as corny and cheesy as somebody said to me, that I'm sick of this unity consciousness that you keep saying out, but I'm fed up. But again, this is testing our resolve, our resilience within, and it is testing. I get that, and I don't dispute that. But it is that hardcore faith now. So these timelines have to go. Of course, we realize that this journey could go on till the rest of this year. Here in the UK, it's speculative at the moment. I don't know how true it is, but it's indicative that it could go on till September, the lockdown. So many businesses are like out of business, and it's quite a shit show. And we can just go to the supermarkets and that's it, really. There's nothing else. And it's just, now all the borders are closed. So something's happening for sure. These next 2 weeks are definitely very telling. And every single day, this division that's going on within our community has to stop. And I still want to sort of instill that and, advocate that we are together. We may not get everything right. These are just opinions and views that we're going inward and intuitively sharing with people. I said to you, Mel and JC, when we first spoke that, politically for me, everything was just difficult. I don't know how I got chosen on this journey. So why me? Were you drunk?
Right.
Chose me, but it's that resilience and that inner resolve and the spirit, it's so important to have a good spirit in this. But is it easy? Of course it's not. I get that. But look, I was like, once I found out about this whole movement and Trump, and I just fell in love with who he was and what he stood for. If we look at the crap that was thrown at him and what he's had to endure over the last 4 years and everything that's been thrown at him, everything that's just the worst. He's a molester, he's a this, he's a that. And look how he's dealt with it. So this is a journey of us to go within ourselves, and we know this. But and somebody, I read in one of the comments, JC, someone said, I really learned from JC, she taught me how to go within. Isn't that brilliant? Like, look at that. Like, it's no one's taught you really anything, but you've just resided with this energy within, and it's resonated with you, that oh my God, yeah, I get it. And these nuggets of wisdom that they can draw upon from JC, from you, Mel, is what keeps us going, that okay, 98% is great. That 2% that's kind of attacking us, and it's like, we're responsible for world hunger and everything else. Then we can kind of like, yeah, but we get blamed for everything. But yeah, it is very telling. So what's going to happen in the next 2-3 weeks? So
yeah, I just say, I can't say enough to keep the faith, but in the end, also don't watch the time, don't sit there and say when's it going to happen. It's just, we really just keep going, try to work on yourself and try to work on understanding more about what's going on and create your own world. You kind of have to create your own, because I did a live 6 hours, God.
I know.
6 hours. 6
hours.
It was like, I was like, I don't know how I did that, but I invited, the audience to come on Zoom, and I had a few people, and they were the most beautiful people ever.
Oh, that's
and I saw, I'm talking to them, and I could see them, like I could see their hearts. I really felt it. It was really strong. But halfway through, I said to them, okay, everybody, like, we're sitting here talking, we have these amazing, amazing conversations with everyone. Everybody's learning about each other. I said, think about it. Is anyone thinking about this crazy world out there right now? And they're all going, no. Are you thinking about that the world's coming to an end and then Biden's in charge and da-da-da, and they're all going, no. So it really is, it's about, you got to take charge of where you put your focus, because your consciousness and what is, we are manifestors. The reason why these demons do what they do is because they can't create. I've said this over and over and over again. They cannot create. They can only corrupt, invert, subvert, and this is why it's in plain sight, right? Melbourne, they've got the thing, and you can see it. Like, it's just this inverted reality that they're sort of creating. But we can create, because, and now they know that collectively that our focus can really change and shift a whole entire movement. And this is why they try to stop us with our message has to be stopped somehow. And it's this whole strategy of how do we dilute their audience? How do we confuse and cause doubt? That's why they do that. So we've got to learn how to control where we're putting our focus and, what we're doing from here on out. And it's a really hard game, but we're here to teach people how to do it. I mean, it's, it's hard. It is difficult, I understand, because even just 1 minute of listening to the mainstream radio,
you can't do it.
God, I want to have like a panic attack. It's like you start to believe it. You go, oh my God, maybe that is true. You really have
when I look at it, all I think is shame on these people. They know what they're doing. They know they're lying. They know that they're manipulating the masses. And honestly, most of them are so compromised already and blackmailed and stuff too, especially the people at the very top of these corporations that are running the media, that, I just look at them and I think, God's watching you. You might think you'll get away with this, but you won't. You won't. What you're doing to humanity is a serious, serious crime. And like I said, the biggest crime against humanity going on right now is the mental health and psychological torture, basically. And it's being aided and abetted by our mainstream media without any shame in their game. Every night it gets worse. Last night, Anderson Cooper said that the siege that they planned, by the way, on the Capitol on the 6th was similar to Rwanda, to 800,000 people dying in Rwanda. That Anderson Cooper, whom we all know about him, on CNN says this with a straight face, and nobody pushes back. Unbelievable. But you know what? I cut off a friend yesterday that I was friends with for a long time. I couldn't watch her posts anymore, gloating about how great, the Biden won, and thank God Trump's gone. And I'm looking at it thinking, you have 3 kids. And you're seeing what he's doing, and do you feel good about this? It's just, I can't.
You can't comprehend this. Yeah.
No, so that's what you have to do. You have to protect yourself and only interact with those that you feel comfortable interacting with. I'm learning every day the same thing, that over and over, where toxic energy, or you're reading the comments, or it's only going to harm me if I pay attention to it. If I don't, or I know that somebody is going to push down every idea I have, and the other side, and you're wrong. Why talk to them? Why? You don't have to. That's the other thing. I just make good choices about who you surround yourself with, even if it's your family. Right now is not the time to, be filling your time with a toxic energy or arguing or any of that. It's really up to you, and everyone has a choice. And I really need to literally put on my armor of God every day. Become like real. And
the irony is that all the good friends that I've met through this, everyone's in different countries. So it's not like,
I know.
But if I just say, right, Mel, I'm coming over for a cup of tea.
I know. Oh God, we would never stop talking. Thank God. we would all have to move in together.
I know.
Well, on that note, God, an hour's just flown by. Gosh, I could go on for another hour. So yeah, this has been great. So on a parting note, before we go, is there anything you both want to say, JC? I was about to call you something else there, JC.
I wanted to say this joke. Can I say it? We all look like, our names are all like menus on a restaurant menu, food items. So like, for instance, like I would just go, I'll have the Alpa Soni, please, with some pesto and red wine, thank you. And is the Mel K burger any different from the JCK burger? Is there, does it come with extra cheese or what? But it's like, we could be menu items. Seriously, let's open a restaurant at the end of this. I'll have the Alpa Soni, please.
That's good. No, that's an excellent dish.
Vegetables.
We got to. That's the other big thing. We got to keep a sense of humor, because there is an absurdity to the show we're watching, and sometimes I just look and I say, "What? Get out of here. You have to keep a sense of humor too, and it's very important. That's why JC and I, we're definitely going to do a show soon, I hope, because I laugh so much with Mark, and I know you.
Well, you know,
find
me,
the humor
Margaret,
and the craziness.
I think that would be great.
we do.
Mark and
Bounce off each
Mel,
other.
the three of you. Oh, well, thank
Oh
you.
no, we won't get a word in edgewise. Mark's going to upstage us.
No, it'll just have to be
gags. No. It's
He'll
going to
say
be
something
the two of
different,
us.
though.
Yeah.
He'll be like, you're ganging up on him.
He says I talk over the top of him. That's bullshit. No.
Guys do remind me of each other. Oh, I love it. I love it.
They're amazing.
Okay, guys. Well, we'll do it again soon.
This has been
And,
awesome. And
God
see you again
wins.
next week, Mel. Same time.
Same time next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Love you all.
Bye.